There is a reason the Spanish Farmhouse kitchen is taking over 2026. It is not because it feels new. It is because it feels remembered. It has the quiet confidence of a room that has cooked for generations. Lime-washed walls soften the light. Terracotta floors hold the warmth of the earth. Old beams rest overhead. Aged brass glows gently under the hand. Open shelves carry the bowls, pitchers, and everyday pieces that make a kitchen feel truly lived in. And just beyond the door, the garden seems to lean inside. Hello, dear Homypedia family. If you watched our previous Spanish Farmhouse home tour, you already know why this style touched so many people. It was not only the arches, the clay roof tiles, or the courtyard. It was the feeling, the sense that a home can be humble, soulful, and quietly beautiful without trying too hard. Today, we are stepping closer into the kitchen itself, because this is where the Spanish farmhouse spirit becomes practical. This is where design becomes daily life. In this video, we will walk through 7 details that make this kitchen feel timeless. Limewashed walls, terracotta floors, reclaimed beams, aged brass, plaster range hoods, open shelves, and indoor-outdoor connections. But the real secret is this. These details do not work because they are expensive. They work because they age gracefully. They accept sunlight, touch, patina, and imperfection. They do not ask your kitchen to look brand new forever. They allow it to become more beautiful with life. Imagine opening a wooden door in the morning. The room is still cool. Soft light moves across the floor. The walls are not flat white. They have depth like stone warmed by the sun. The floor is earthy underfoot, and above the stove, a sculptural plaster hood makes the room feel as if it has always been there. That is the promise of this kitchen. Not perfection. Presence. The first detail is lime-washed walls. In this farmhouse kitchen, the walls should never feel like a blank sheet of paper. They should feel like the atmosphere. Limewash gives a wall movement. It catches light in soft, uneven layers, so the kitchen changes gently from morning to evening. In bright daylight, limewash feels fresh and airy. At sunset, it becomes warmer, almost creamy. Under a small pendant light in the evening, it feels intimate and old world. It does not compete with the food, the wood, the pottery, or the view outside. It holds everything together with quiet grace. For a timeless 2026 version, choose warm whites, chalky cream, pale sand, or a soft greige with a hand-applied finish. The goal is not dramatic texture. The goal is a wall that breathes. A wall that feels human. The second detail is the terracotta floor. Few materials say Spanish farmhouses more clearly than terracotta. It brings the earth into the kitchen. It has warmth before you add a single rug, chair, or copper pan. And it gives even a newly built room a sense of age. Terracotta works because it is never sterile. The tiles may vary slightly in color. Some lean rose, some burnt orange, some dusty clay. Together, they create a floor that feels alive. As the years pass, the surface becomes even more beautiful, especially in the pathways where people naturally walk. Avoid overly glossy tiles. Choose matte, handmade, or slightly irregular surfaces. A square tile feels classic. A brick pattern feels humble and relaxed. Pair terracotta with simple cabinets, light plaster, and natural wood, and the room has warmth without needing much decoration. The third detail is reclaimed beams. Look up in a Spanish farmhouse kitchen, and the ceiling often tells the story before anything else. Reclaimed beams create a sense of shelter. They make the room feel protected, grounded, and older than its calendar date. But the key is restraint. A beam should not feel like a prop. It should feel structural, even when used decoratively. Dark, rough beams can be beautiful against lime-washed walls, but they need air around them. If the kitchen is small, use fewer beams and keep the walls light. The best Spanish farmhouse kitchens do not shout history. They suggest it. There is also something powerful about reclaimed wood. Old nail marks, weathering, and grain remind us that beauty does not have to be flawless. In a kitchen, that message matters. It makes the room more forgiving and ready for real life. The fourth detail is aged brass. This is where the kitchen begins to glow. Aged brass hardware, faucets, pot rails, and small hooks bring warmth without feeling shiny or new. Unlike polished chrome, aged brass has a softness that belongs beside plaster, clay, and wood. Think of it as a bridge between the rustic and the refined. A simple brass faucet over a farmhouse sink. Small unlacquered brass knobs on cream cabinets. A brass rail holding ladles and towels. A small sconce above open shelves. Each piece is modest, but together they create a golden thread through the kitchen. The important thing is to let the brass age. If it darkens slightly, that is not a failure. That is beauty. In a Spanish farmhouse kitchen, patina is part of the language. It says this room is used, touched, and loved. The fifth detail is the plaster range hood. If there is one focal point that can make a kitchen feel instantly like a Spanish farmhouse, it is this. A plaster range hood gives the cooking area a sculptural presence. It feels built into the architecture rather than added on top of it. In 2026, the most elegant versions are simple and generous. A softly curved hood, a subtle arch, a smooth hand-troweled finish. Sometimes a small ledge holds a piece of pottery or a sprig of rosemary. What makes the plaster hood timeless is its quiet strength. It does not rely on trend colors or complicated trim. It uses shape, shadow, and proportion. Placed between open shelves or above a range framed by terracotta and brass, it becomes the natural heart of the room. The sixth detail is open shelving. Open shelves are not just a place to display pretty objects. In a Spanish farmhouse kitchen, they keep the room honest. They show the bowls you use, the plates you reach for, the olive oil, the mugs, the pitchers, and the things that make daily life feel generous. The secret is editing. Open shelves should not be crowded with everything you own. They should hold what belongs to the rhythm of the kitchen. White plates, stoneware bowls, wooden boards, glass jars, a few cookbooks, maybe a small vase from the garden. The palette should be calm, cream, clay, wood, brass, olive green, soft blue, or warm brown. If you worry about dust, use open shelves only in one area, perhaps beside the plaster hood, above a small prep counter, or in a breakfast corner. Sometimes 2 thick wood shelves against lime-washed walls are enough to change everything. The seventh detail is the indoor-outdoor connection. Spanish farmhouse design is not meant to be sealed away from nature. It wants a conversation with the outside. A kitchen door opening to a courtyard. A window above the sink facing citrus trees. A small table near French doors. Herbs grow just outside where you can reach them while cooking. This connection changes the emotional temperature of the kitchen. It makes the room feel less like a box and more like a threshold. Morning light enters. Air moves. Even a small patio can create this feeling if the view is cared for. If you do not have a courtyard, you can still borrow the idea. Place potted rosemary, lavender, or olive branches near a window. Use linen curtains that move with the breeze. Keep the sight line to the outside clear. Choose materials that belong to the garden as much as the kitchen: clay, stone, wood, woven baskets, and aged metal. What ties all 7 details together is not a single object, it is a philosophy. The Spanish Farmhouse kitchen does not try to impress you in the first 3 seconds. It invites you to stay. It says, come in, put down your bag, wash the vegetables, pour the coffee, sit near the door where the light is good. And that is why this style is taking over 2026. After years of kitchens that looked glossy and too perfect to touch, people are craving rooms with warmth. Rooms where materials have memory. Rooms where the kitchen is not just a showpiece, but a companion to everyday life. You do not need a historic farmhouse in Spain to begin. You can start with one lime-washed wall, one terracotta toned floor, one reclaimed shelf, one aged brass faucet, one arched plaster hood, one small door open to a garden pot of herbs. Start with texture before decoration. Let the palette remain sun-washed and earthy. Cream, clay, olive, wheat, warm wood, old brass, and soft shadow. So when we talk about the Spanish farmhouse kitchen taking over 2026, we are not really talking about a trend. We are talking about a longing. A longing for kitchens that feel calm instead of cold, for walls that hold light, for floors that carry footsteps, for wood that has already lived a life, for brass that grows warmer with every touch, for shelves that show real bowls, real cups, real mornings, for a doorway that reminds us the garden is part of the home too. These 7 details matter because they return the kitchen to something deeply human. Lime-washed walls soften the room. Terracotta floors ground it. Reclaimed beams give it shelter. Aged brass gives it glow. A plaster range hood gives it a heart. Open shelves give it honesty. And the indoor-outdoor connection gives it breath. If you are dreaming of a kitchen that feels timeless, do not begin by asking what is most fashionable. Begin by asking what will still feel beautiful after 10 quiet years of breakfasts, dinners, conversations, and ordinary afternoons. That is the Spanish Farmhouse answer. Choose materials that age with you. Choose warmth over perfection. Choose simplicity with soul. If this peaceful kitchen speaks to you, let us know in the comments which detail you would bring into your own home first. And if you enjoyed this follow-up, please like, subscribe, and stay with us for more timeless homes and quiet design secrets. Until next time, may your home feel grounded and full of gentle light.